Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girls is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Den Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
It's great to be here. I know that you're probably the biggest supporters of the Reggae Girlz. So what you do and the message that you spread for the girls, it's really appreciated.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Crystal, I gotta give it to her. I've heard a lot of guys say she's the reason why they start off to watch female football. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm pushing her out there to keep on doing your thing. Don't get discouraged. You have a band of brothers behind you. And what we try to do is to get female who think like you know, in the game. Right, Siobhan?
Yeah,
so enough
because
respect to you, Crystal, and keep fighting.
yeah, because as you mentioned, a lot of persons, because I think the Reggae Girlz has been the most successful team in our football, and I think a lot of that was underrated. So what you've done for the local aspect of Jamaicans, you brought that sense of admiration to the persons know that hey, it's not just the boys, the females as well. The females have the love as well, and honestly, if it wasn't for someone like you, Crystal, the YouTube space would just be crowded with the reggae boys, reggae boys, reggae boys.
Yeah. So we do, you know, we have lots of respect.
You know, so I could touch base with her again at some point and see if she's up for an interview. But she did say yes before. It's just that I recognize that at the time there must have been a lot that she was going through, hence not pushing and asking for the interview. But I think it can be done.
Sorry to interject here, but you know, I must take this moment out to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You are such a being. You don't only look out selfishly for yourself. And as a broadcasting journalist as I am, and for the 40 odd years that I'm in the business, we when we're going after that story, we tend not to give hoots about what pains or atrocities it may cause when hunting that story. And so it takes a man and a woman who shares the pain of others to really look into it and say, no, you know what, by me pushing I can cause or create certain pain, and I wouldn't want that, so let me ease back a bit. It takes it because you see, we can get lost in the realm of collecting and dispensing information. You know, we can get caught up in that, you know, just to make a headline, just to get the notes out there. And I applaud you for using this kind of foresight to look deep in it and say, you know what, she may be in a spot. You're not saying she was in a spot. She may be in a spot. So let me take a step back and allow time to process this thing. So I raise my hat to you, you know, for that. You're a stalwart, and I entrust and I hope and pray that you'll continue in this vein, because you are the creme de la creme, and no one can take your spot. Just remember that. No one can take your spot. Others will come and try to do, and others may label them as doing better than, but there's no one can take that first place from you. He's always first and will always be first.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My Talawers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. First of all, let me know how you guys are doing in the comment section. Those of you who are silently watching for whatever the reason, I hope that you are all in good health. If you're making your way home from work, perhaps it's a little bit sooner than the usual, definitely sooner than the usual. It's almost 9 o'clock my end. So some of you probably going to be slowly clocking out of your day jobs, let's say in the next 2 hours, right? Majority of my subscribers, as you already know, is based across the pond, the USA and also Jamaica. Speaking of the USA, it's match day. I want to know how you guys are feeling on match day, gearing up to take on the big heavyweights, a USA and international friendly. Although I say friendly, I do, however, feel that when it comes to certain countries, certain fixtures, the term friendly just goes out the window. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but as a fan, I've said this, so let me sound a little bit like a broken record when it comes to certain countries and certain sports. So let's say athletics, be it your track and field or football, there's a couple countries that we just don't want to lose. The USA and Mexico are a few of those countries that we obviously just don't want to lose to. History speaks for itself. So we can talk a little bit more about that perhaps on my second live stream. I have another live stream coming up. So maybe not so much on this live stream, but perhaps on the second live stream, I can dive into that with you guys. So where do we start? I guess we could go with the headline in front of us, the reported rumors there. Is it rumors? Is it something concrete? We can take a little glimpse on pertaining to what's been said about Mr. Leon Bailey. It's kind of funny. I'm smiling because we spoke about the possibility of Leon Bailey leaving Aston Villa. Actually, I believe it was early into the season that just concluded, and looking at potential leagues that he could play in or potential leagues that he might end up playing in and which clubs and etc. We also looked at the possibility of him playing in the Saudi Pro League. So I might have guessed that one right. I know it wasn't it was probably more of a desire. I was saying, me personally, I would prefer if he went to the Saudi Pro League. And I'm just saying that because I am looking at it from a family perspective. As I said on my previous live stream, the man has a family. He has a family to feed. He has his missus and they have their kids. I believe they've got 2 kids now. So obviously that just means that he has to put food on the table, right? So this essentially, how old is Leon? Leon is probably 28. Let's look at how old Leon is quickly. Oh, wow. So he's turning 28 this year. He's turning 28 in August. So he's no longer a spring chicken, still young. It's so crazy. I mean, some 10 years ago, 27-year-old footballer would be deemed old. So he's still essentially in his peak years, and he's going to be unwinding on those peak years as he gets closer to the 30 club and, mid 30s. Obviously, we know what that will mean. So I think it's only right for us to start off with Mr. Leon Bailey. I'm going to turn my attention to the comments section in a few, but before I do that, let's just dive right into it. Let's get some transfer updates on Mr. Bailey. Let's see what the media are reporting on. And let me know in the comment section how you guys feel about the possibility of Leon Bailey going to the Saudi Pro League. How you guys feeling about that one? Let's see. Are we all good? You should be able to see the screen in front of you. If not, don't worry. I've got you covered. Yes, I'm aware that the headline is blocking parts of the screen. But like I said, don't worry. I've got you covered. So the headline here says, cash flight, Leon Bailey set to sail life-changing £25 million Saudi Arabia transfer after being left out in cold by Aston Villa. That's quite something, isn't it? It's quite a headline. I'm sorry, guys. I just got to change my TV very quickly for the little one. So just bear with me. Yes, we're all good. And if you guys can hear my TV at any point, then let me know. I can't actually see the comment section at the moment because I'm looking at a totally separate screen. So I have no idea what you guys are saying in the comment section. But I will be with you in a few. So, okay, back to Leon Bailey. It says here that Leon Bailey is expected to seal a life-changing £25 million move to Saudi Arabia this week. Now, this week, when was this one put out? This was put out just yesterday. No, my apologies. This was put out on Sunday. So Sunday would have been the first. I don't even know which day we're on, guys. So we're on what, Tuesday, June the 3rd. So this article here was published on the 1st of June. And it says here that the Aston Villa forward is the subject of an offer believed to be from newly promoted Neom. I hope I've pronounced I should say their name correctly. If I manage to butcher their name, do let me know in the comments section. Again, let me know what you guys make of this transfer, which it does seem as if it holds water because it's more than the Sun. I've seen other platforms out there report on it. Also, I think Ryan was speaking about this last night. And yes, when it comes to football, especially where Jamaica football is concerned, and you can say Leon Bailey as well, you can't hold him to what's been reported. He is reputable in that regard. So let me know what you guys make of Leon Bailey going to the Saudi Pro League. It says here his agents have already held discussions with the Pro League club. Jamaican international Bailey, 27, is set to earn up to 10 million a year tax-free. Lucky for some, that's not too bad, is it? 10 million per year tax-free. I'm not mad at it. I know some of you though are totally against the idea. I think some of you, from what I can recall, if memory serves me well, some of you wanted Leon to go to Manchester United. I mean, you clearly don't love Leon Bailey if you want him to go to Manchester United. But I'm not going to get into all of that. We can potentially talk a little bit more about the Saudi Pro League, Leon Bailey. Let's say if this deal comes to fruition. So if this deal goes through and the I's has been dotted and the T's have been crossed, then potentially we can look at Leon Bailey. I'm just doing a quick update to see if there's any further additional updates there that I can share with you guys. No, there isn't anything as of yet. So again, let me go back to the comment section and see what you guys are saying. You guys are being a little bit quiet when it comes to Leon Bailey. What are you guys saying in the comment section? Mr. Tasia Scott, good day, sir. I hope you are well. Good afternoon, Crystal. Joking. Oh, the man them want run the federation. Blah blah blah. What are you? You have to add some meat to that. That one threw me off. What? Yeah, add some meat to that one because I'm not really sure what you are referring to. It says here, DC, good day to yourself, good afternoon, good evening, Talawa TVers across the pond. I am listening on the slide this afternoon. Sounds to me that you might be at work. Please do not get yourself in trouble. Good day to yourself. Abigail Andrews says, Crystal, where is Busby? Well, good evening to yourself. Someone forgot their manners. It says, where is Busby? Hello, where is Busby? Anyone would think I have a tracker on the head coach. It seems like you get your brown envelope too. That one has tickled me. What brown envelope? You've thrown me off. You've completely thrown me off. I've literally sat down, took some time out of my precious day to put a show together for you guys, but you're kind of throwing me off. So based on what you guys are saying in the comment section, okay, so Tasia Scott is saying he's talking about Busby. So you're talking about, so for context, Tasia Scott, he is actually one of Busby's biggest supporters. So I should be asking you, why are you asking me? You know, I would love to be a fly on the wall, or perhaps not. Perhaps I don't want to be a fly on the wall. I don't think I have the answers that you're searching for, guys. I will try to give you some answers to your questions, but I'm not Busby. I'm not Mr. Busby. I'm not the head coach. I'm not part of the backroom staff. I'm not one of the players, obviously. So I can only share with you what's already out there, what's been officially produced, or what's been officially communicated to the media and the fans. I don't really think I can go any further than that. Yeah, I mean, unless it seems to me that you've backtracked. I mean, Busby's your guy. You've always been in his corner. No? Am I mistaken? Do I need to go back on my live streams? You've always been Team Busby, but I get the sense that something has changed. I don't know what. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I get the sense that something has changed pertaining to our head coach. So correct me if I am wrong, then please do correct me. I'm gonna go back and look at your comment again. Like, I think maybe I don't know, maybe I'm tired. So please rework this comment for me, because I'm trying to read it and I'm trying to make sense of what you're saying, but I'm not really making sense of it. And it's not you, it's me. Okay, so help me, please break it down a little bit for me, because yeah, I'm struggling to understand that one. All right, Jordan, pick up yourself, Jordan. Crystal, you know the same. And what envelope are you talking about? I don't know what envelope. You're throwing me off my show. What envelope? I don't know what envelope you're talking about. DC says, I am coming around to the possibility of Leon heading to Saudi. I'm still wondering about what Bailey hopes for his football legacy. His bag will be secured with the move. I mean, yeah, like I said, secure the bag. I think he has already created, as I said on previous live stream pertaining to Leon Bailey and the possibility of him moving to Saudi, I think success is subjective. What's success to me might not be success to you guys, right? So me saying I am about 22 subs away from 5K subscribers, that is success. To someone like Ryan Jackson, Mr. Jackson, Elite Sports TV, that's probably not success to him because he's chasing 50K subs. So, but for me, it's success. So for me, success is subjective. Okay. So Tasia Scott, please answer the question, sir. I know you're listening. I know you heard what I said. And I know I'm not wrong. Like, Busby is your guy. That is your coach. So don't try to move the goalpost now. Don't try to change your tune. Or if your tune you have changed your tune, you're entitled to do so. Let me know why. Okay, let me hear what he's saying. From any coach, Crystal, I see doing a good job. I'm on their side. Like Donaldson, he was a good coach, but make bad decisions sometimes. So what are you saying about Busby then? You said something about Busby. That's what I'm saying. And you've said it on other live streams, right? You've said, and I've heard you say something about the back room, the coaching staff as well. So what's that all about? That's what I'm saying, because I'm kind of confused, right? Cranky, big up yourself, Cranky. Guys, if you're not familiar with Cranky Live, I don't know, maybe you're living under a rock. Familiarize yourself. Head over to the channel once we're done and dusted over on here and subscribe to his channel. All right. So the comment section, you guys have come at me like immediately. It doesn't really happen very often, but I appreciate you guys getting friendly in the comment section, and I have to respect it, so I have to kind of segue from the structure of my show and show you guys some respect, because you're obviously showing me respect. And first thing that we discussed in the first part of the show, although I've only been speaking to you guys for less than 20 minutes, is Leon Bailey, touching on the reports there. You can see this one here taken from the Sun about Leon Bailey and his big money move, and we're all talking about tax-free. It's right there in black and white. 10 million per year tax-free. I love that. He's one of our own. As I said, he's got a family, he's got his missus, and they've got their little ones, and I wish him all the best. I know it's not the move that potentially most people would admire. I think a lot of people would prefer if he stayed in the Premier League potentially. I don't recall hearing any of you actually mentioned the prospect of Leon Bailey going back to the Bundesliga. I don't recall no one saying that they wouldn't mind him going back. But guess what? It's his life at the end of the day, and he has to do what's best for him. I think he has achieved a lot in his career. If we're looking at where he's currently at in terms of Aston Villa, he obviously played a pivotal role in helping Aston Villa to return to the big heights. And the big heights is obviously Champions League football. And I think when they returned to champion football, again, sounding like a bit of a broken record, that was the first time in some, if I'm not mistaken, some 41 years and counting. So that is success. Again, success is subjective, right? But you also have to look at the what the future holds and the possibility of what could happen. You know, tomorrow isn't promised. All it takes is one untimely, unfortunate injury, and it's pretty much a wrap. So this is a big payday for him. And I think when people comment on the Saudi Pro League, it's probably coming from when it's heavily negative, it's probably coming from the fact that you don't watch the Saudi Pro League, or you don't really know much about the Saudi Pro League to begin with. So as I said, if this one materialize, then I will no doubt segue and talk about Leon Bailey in depth and look at the Saudi Pro League and see the pros and cons. Because like with everything, there must be some pros and cons there, right? I know that I'm not mad at this deal. I love it for him, and I want to wish him all the best, want to wish his wife all the best, and obviously want to wish their little family all the best as well. So, you know, hopefully it comes to fruition and it's a success for him. So saying, back then when I was getting to know him, I was seeing what he was trying to do for the girls and the country, the attacking style of play. I love seeing attacking football. Donaldson was more defensive. You still haven't really answered my question, but I'll leave it like that. So where do we turn to, guys? Also Cranky, my apologies. Cranky says I would be running to Saudi. Cranky will be running hand in hand. I'll be running with you. I'll be running right next to you. Reckon what's your figure say? You know, you getting 11 mil? Are we getting the same tax-free money? Yeah, I think I'm with you on that, Cranky. I definitely would be running to the Saudi Pro League. Again, just to reiterate, we have a friendly coming up tonight, and it will be against the heavyweight queens of the world. Not the current queens, but they're still one of the queens in women's football, and that is the USA. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that game. I'm also looking to do a watch along. Let me know if you guys want me to do a watch along for the game. I think it's going to be a late kickoff for me, if memory serves me well. So where do we start, guys? Where do we start? I saw some comments earlier on. If I could just backtrack. Someone is saying, where is Busby? So I just keep that one on screen for you guys, right? Because I think that's kind of like the question, where is Busby? And you probably don't know the answer if you haven't been keeping your eyes and ears peeled across. Can I say social media? I don't even know if the Jamaica Football Federation. I'm sure they did, right? I go on their Instagram. I'm sure they must have put something out. I know they communicated that he won't be on the touchline to the media. I'm just trying to see if they put that one out on their socials. Can't really see it. Did they put it out on their Instagram, guys? This is one of the things that I dislike about the JFF. When it comes to the Reggae Girlz, everything is so hidden. Like, you have to dig deep to find information that should be ready and available to the public. So I'm not saying they haven't put it on their Instagram, but right now I'm kind of looking and I can't see it on their Instagram. Nevertheless, I do have you guys covered. So I'm going to bring up that press release there from the JFF. All right. So let's see. Let's try and see if I can bring up the press release there. So for context, should we do a little, should we backstep while we're at it? Should we backstep and look at the last camp because I guess it makes sense to bring everyone up to speed. Okay, so let me change my screen here for you guys. Don't know why I'm doing this to myself, because I really said I wasn't going to talk about these two games. So you should be able to see that one on the screen in front of you. I did promise myself that I would not speak about the Mexico games, but for context, we do have to talk about the Mexico games, because I think it makes perfect sense to segue between the Mexico match and subsequently this game right here. It says 1 a.m. Don't be frightened by that. That's only if you are in the UK and potentially elsewhere in Europe. Check the timing of your kickoff, but ignore the 1 a.m. kickoff. I think it's a 7 p.m. kickoff for those of you who are based in Jamaica, but you might have to check that one in your own time, right? So we're looking at the Mexico camp. And you can see the scoreline speaks for itself, isn't it? We took a battering over those two games there. Potentially the worst I've ever seen us perform. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but honest to God, by match day 2, I could not wait until the referee blew the final whistle, because it was just unbearable. I'm hoping we see improvements in what we saw against Mexico over those two games. So in terms of context, I'm obviously referring to the question. It should be a comment on screen. I can't see the screen at the moment, but it should be a comment on screen. Where is Busby? Because that's kind of like the big question, right? So let us go back and look at the press conference, the press release, I should say. My apologies, right? So let's go ahead and look at the press release there for the Mexico game and see if we can bring ourselves up to speed. So the press release ahead of the Mexico game, in terms of the information that was provided to us from the Jamaica Football Federation, it stated, the senior Reggae Girlz will commence action today in a friendly against Mexico in Kansas City, Missouri. This is the first of 2 games against Mexico, with the second game slated for Tuesday in Houston, Texas. Head coach Hubert Busby has advised that for personal reasons, he cannot be physically with the team, but he has been leading team meetings and planning sessions remotely, while assistant coach Dion Burton is leading the sessions on the ground. And it goes on to saying, stuff such as, we are hopeful that Coach Busby will be with the team in Houston for the second game. Now, we know that for the second game, Busby wasn't with the team. So that was a window there. Some might frame it as a window of missed opportunity. Nevertheless, that was a window there where the head coach wasn't physically present with the team, although he did clearly communicate to us there in black and white that despite not being physically with the team, he had been leading team meetings and planning sessions remotely. Now, if we fast forward to the most recent press release as it relates to the friendly, tonight's friendly against the USA, and I think this one's probably going to answer the question on screen for you. Hopefully it does. You guys should be able to see that one. If you can't, don't worry, I've got you covered. And I will turn my attention to the comment section in a few. All right. So this one here dated June the 2nd. Today's June 3rd. So this one came out yesterday. And this is your press release. You can see it right there. Jamaica Football Federation LTD press release. Senior Reggae Girlz wrap up final preparations ahead of USA friendly. Now, before I read this one out to you guys, I guess for context, we should probably look at the information that was communicated to us from the JFF to the media, and hopefully I can find that information there for you guys as it relates to the team. So it says here, and this was again ahead of this press release here that you guys can see on the screen. It says the senior Reggae Girlz have assembled in St. Louis ahead of their friendly against the USA on Tuesday. Most of the players arrived Thursday evening, while others, including head coach Hubert Busby, are expected to join the camp today. The team will hold their first training session today at 10 a.m. And I believe this information here that I'm reading to you guys came through on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check that one for you. Yeah, this one came through on Friday. So now we move on to the press release in front of you guys. So let me get up let me read the press release with you guys. So it says here, the senior Reggae Girlz have wrapped up their final training session at the Energizer Park in St. Louis, bringing preparations to a close ahead of Tuesday's much anticipated international friendly against the United States. I agree, it is much anticipated because, as I said, my TV is deafening me. As I said to you guys earlier on, yes, it is a friendly, but when it comes to certain countries like Mexico and the United States, I don't speak for the entire fan base, but most certainly for myself and people who I've spoken to within the fan base, we don't take friendlies as a friendly. And when it's against your USA and countries like Mexico, we definitely don't see those fixtures as friendlies. There's some fierce rivalry there. So yes, I do agree with the press release. They're saying that it's a much anticipated international friendly, again, against the opponents, the host, the United States. And to conclude with the press release, it says here the team arrived in St. Louis last Thursday and completed 4 high-intensity training sessions focused on tactical refinements and team cohesion in the lead up to their match against the former FIFA Women's World Champions. All 23 players took part in the sessions under the guidance of assistant coach Dion Burton, that is former Reggae Boys legend, who assumed interim head coach responsibilities for the match. He will be supported by assistant coaches Xavier Gilbert, Stanford Carabin. I hope I did not butcher your name. And also one of our Laura Jackson. The Jamaica Football Federation confirms that head coach Hubert Busby will be absent from the bench due to personal matters, but continues to maintain active communication with both players and technical staff in Missouri. Am I pronouncing that right? Every time I say it, it just sounds so weird. Let me know in the comment section. Cranky, DC, I don't know. Tasia, let me know. Mr. Webster, big up yourself. So I think that one there answers the question in front of me pertaining to where is Busby. I don't really know if the Jamaica Football Federation put this information out to the public. I can't see it on the Instagram. That's not to say they didn't do it. I just can't see it. Maybe it's an oversight on my behalf. But in your own time, you can check to see if it's available on Instagram or any other platform. Right. And when was the last time Hubert Busby showed up in person with the Reggae Girlz? I'm trying to remember how long it's been. If memory serves me well, don't quote me on this, but I think it might have been the Peru game. I think I might have seen him at the Peru game. I don't think he was absent from the Peru game. Again, don't quote me on that, but I feel fairly confident that he was physically with the team for the Peru game, right? And yeah, it must have been just for the Mexico game, because if not, we would be sat here saying this is 3 camps, but I don't think it's 3 camps. I believe it's just 2. So the Mexico camp as well as the USA camp. But again, you can go out there and use your own investigative abilities. I don't know, your own investigative techniques, but I do feel fairly confident that he was at the Peru game, right? Warren Webster says, blessings, Crystal, at work, but showing some love. Press the like button. Please do press the like button, guys. It's coming up to 9:30 where I'm at. I'm gonna close off and then come back later on. And Warren is saying something more guan, it smell good, and we need to know our. I don't know Warren Webster. I'm not the Jamaica Football Federation, and I definitely am not Coach Busby. 12 tribes of Israel, big up yourself. He says Peru. So that basically means that he's agreeing that it was the Peru game. And also Tasia Scott is saying, yes, you are right. It was Peru. And DC is saying, is it pronounced St. Louis? Is it pronounced St. Louis? Is it not St. Louis? Did I get that wrong? I do apologize. It wasn't intentional. So they pronounced it Saint St. Louis. I thought it was pronounced St. Louis. Correct me on that. I don't think I'm gonna go any further until you correct me on that one. So it's always good to know. Look, I don't live across the pond, but I'm not making excuses for myself. If I got it wrong, I got it wrong. I do apologize. You're not helping me, Warren. So is it St. Louis? Did I not say St. Louis? I thought I said St. Louis. Maybe I didn't. If I didn't, I do apologize. So it's pronounced St. Louis, not St. Louis. I know there's different pronunciations, between the Brits and the Americans. So let me know. I don't feel like I'm gonna go any further until you correct me on that. Frankie as well. I know that I think you live across the pond, Cranky. So let me know if I've butchered that one. It's fine. I'm very confident or comfortable with making mistakes. It's one way of learning. All right. So okay. So let me just pause with a couple of the comments there in the comments section. All right. Okay. So before I move on, I think it's before I forget this, before it slips my memory. So you guys asked the big question, right? The big question was, where is Busby? And I think the press release answers it. It probably doesn't answer it to your liking, but it does answer your question. You asked, where is he? And it's here in black and white. If I can locate it, as in the official reason. So as away from any potential speculation. Where is it? Away from any potential speculation. I'm trying to find the exact reason here. From Busby. Oh, here it is. So it says here that he will be absent from the bench due to personal matters. So key bit of information there pertaining to why he is absent for today's match, and also it's probably an indication that he hasn't been in camp, right? So it said he'll be absent from the bench. I am assuming, although it's not good to assume, that he's just not in camp altogether, although you probably have to verify that with the Jamaica Football Federation or with the head coach himself. But again, key bit of information there in terms of official information, clearly in black and white, says that he's not going to be available due to personal reasons. And I am going to say this, and probably not what you guys want to hear, but it's quite obvious that, when someone says personal reasons, obviously they are not obligated to explain what personal reason is to us. As much as it might be frustrating, as much as it might not be what you want to hear, at the end of the day, personal reasons means personal reasons. And when you tell your employer personal reasons, you are not obligated to explain what those personal reasons are. So if I'm working for Warren Webster, for example, and I say to Warren, I can't come work today due to personal reasons, I should think Warren would have some decency about him not to ask me what those personal reasons are. Even if it spills over into the following day, I might say, still can't come to work today, again, due to personal reasons. And I think we'll probably just leave that one the way that it is, because what can we do? What can we say? It says personal reasons. And I think out of sheer respect, when people say personal reasons, I don't really like to test the water, because you never really know what personal reasons is all about. I know the big fear with personal reasons, for me anyway, is it about a loved one? Is it about a family? And until you know, you can't really go no further. So personal reasons, we just have to take it as it is and just kindly brace ourselves to see if he will be available or physically with the team for the next camp. Now we know the next camp for the Reggae Girlz, they're coming to the UK, so they're going to be playing against England at the King Power Stadium, and that one there is in the pipeline for the 29th of June. We're not going to be talking about that one just yet, though. We're going to be focusing on the current situation, and that is obviously us gearing up to face off against the United States. So I'm trying to think of the positive in all of this, because I think we're all in the same position. I'm a bit like yourself. Obviously, I'm a fan first, before content creator, before journalist. I'm a fan, so I'm in the same position as yourselves. And I'm looking at the team and I'm thinking, I'm kind of scratching my heads to find the positives in all of this, because we all know the benefit of having our head coach physically with the team. We all know what benefits that has, and dare I say, I'm not saying that if Busby was physically with the team against Mexico, we wouldn't have lost, but the performance probably wouldn't have been as disappointing as it was, to put it politely. So I'm trying to think of the positives there just by reading out those informations there that was communicated to us, as in the media, from the Jamaica Football Federation. And based on what they've said, and this is just my observation, not a fact, it seems as if the team's arrival appears to have been better in comparison to the last camp, because I believe one of the reasons for the poor performance against Mexico could potentially be linked to the late arrivals of some of those players. They didn't all arrive in camp at the same time, and we had a conversation about that. And even then, we didn't know the reason until someone kindly shared some information with us in the comment section. So I think if you can compare the two camps, already there's a positive there in terms of the team's arrival. The players arrived in camp in a better time frame in comparison to the Mexico camp. And I guess it's not just Mexico, it's been previous camps as well. I know over the years, these are a couple of the things that we have advocated for in terms of the logistical planning when it comes to the women's team. We've always said it needs to be better. It always appears as if, again, and this is just my observation, it always appears as if certain times, or if not most times, things are just done last minute, or people not really putting their heart and soul into getting the job done. And that's just my observation. That's not a fact. So again, it seems as if, based on what we could read and pick up on from the press release, and also some of the stuff that's been shared by the Jamaica Football Federation in relation to training, it would appear that the team arrived in camp with enough time to prepare themselves for the match against the USA. Unlike the last camp, unlike the Mexico camp, again, some positives there to hang on to. We're seeing content. Didn't see no content there for the Mexico game. Maybe you guys saw it. I most certainly didn't. And I do want to say this as well, because like I said, I'm struggling to find some positivity. So I see some positivity, so I'm going to have to talk about those positivities. So again, not too long ago, we were quite persistent with beating the drum for wanting some demands of, the idea of aligning equality with equity. We always said that we want the girls to have friendlies, especially when it comes to those World Cup preparation. And this is an important game because it's supposed to help us in our World Cup preparation. This is supposed to be part of our World Cup preparation as we draw closer to those qualifiers towards the latter stage of the year. So this is a crucial match. Make no mistake about that. It is an important match, just like the Mexico match. Every single game that we have received so far has been an important game. And you heard it from the horse's mouth himself. That is Mr. Michael Ricketts, the president of the Jamaica Football Federation. Paraphrasing, he said that, I think it was in the release of the France game, where he said that these games are used as preparation for our World Cup preparation, if I'm not mistaken, words to that effect. So again, Mexico game was important, the Peru game was important, South Africa was important, and subsequently USA is also an important game. Saying that to say, sounding like a bit of a broken record, but I think I don't really want to jump the gun because I don't want to get too carried away, and I also don't want to jinx the situation. But it does seem as if this is potentially the new norm for us. You know, it seems as if I can't really say spoiled because I'm not a fly on the wall. I don't know what the team have to go through logistically. I'm not sure if there's any internal unsettlement going on behind the scenes, you know, all those things that we're not privy to. So I can't say that this is the new norm and we're all happy. But where friendlies are concerned, I think it's safe to say that we're heading in the right direction. And if I'm wrong, then someone in the comment section, please correct me, because the new norm to me is us playing friendlies, like, you know, against the likes of your USA, your Brazil, your France. These are some of the games that we used to dream of. And one of the people that used to dream of that the most is Tasia Scott. He's in the comment section. Where is he? Somewhere in my comment section. He used to always talk about us wanting to play against the likes of Spain, France, and also coincidentally England. You know me, I've always wanted us to play against England for obvious reason. I just want to beat England. Don't know if that's going to happen, but again, we can talk about that closer to camp later on in the month, maybe mid-June, towards the back end of June. We can talk about England. Going back to what I was saying pertaining to the new norm as it relates to friendlies. Don't shoot me. I don't know who is in charge of friendlies, but one thing I do know, and that's not from any inside source, I'm just thinking common sense would say that even if it's not the Jamaica Football Federation that's working on friendlies, I should think they have to give the okay to say, yes, they can play it. So hats off to whoever is involved in getting us those friendlies and helping us to agree to those friendlies. As I said, some time ago, we had to plead to the Jamaica Football Federation to give us some friendlies. So there is some positives there in the midst of all of this negative aura, confusion. There is some positive there. I think the biggest positive for me for this particular camp is the return of what was the former Reggae Girlz sports psychologist, and that is Mr. Nicholas Powell. You can check my Instagram, and I put something out earlier on in the day, and he has made a return to the team. So he's back with the team, back with the program. However long, I am not sure how long. I'm hoping and praying to God that it will be a long-term thing. I'm hoping that he can get a permanent contract. I don't know if it's a permanent contract. I don't know if it will turn into a permanent contract, but I hope that it will, because as I said, your sports psychologist is as important as your head coach or your medical doctor. You know, everything starts from up here, and you have to be mentally conditioned to go into certain situations, especially when you're looking to qualify for another World Cup 3 on the trot. And you know, I don't know these girls on a personal level, so I'm just speaking from as an someone who is being observant. We cover the girls when they're playing for their clubs respectfully, so it's no secret without knowing them on a personal level. I think it's fair to say that they must have had difficult seasons respectively, must have had some difficult seasons. There's some success stories there, and then there's some not so successful stories. I can't say an unsuccessful story because, as I said, success is subjective, but you do have some successful stories within the camp, and you've also had those relegation battles. And when I say relegation battles, I really do want to take the time out to big up our captain, Alison Swaby. Actually, the Swaby sisters, the likes of Tiffany Cameron, also who else am I thinking of? Sade, also the names just elude me. I'm trying to think off the top of my head here, guys. So Sade, the Swaby sisters, Tiffany, Kayla. And I'm saying that to say I'm not trying to put them above anyone within the team. I'm just saying that you can go and do your own research. They obviously had a bit of a yo-yo season with their clubs respectively. And what I do appreciate with those particular girls there was the effort that was made to make themselves available for the recent camps, knowing that they've got this battle, this mountain to climb where their clubs are concerned. Like I said, some of them were nose deep in relegation battles. Unfortunately, a few of these girls and their clubs have been relegated from the top tier of their then respective leagues. So this is where a sports psychologist, I should think, comes in handy. Again, I don't know the girls on a personal level, so take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. It's not facts. I'm only trying to put myself in their position and think this is why a sports psychologist is beneficial. And I know I had someone in the comment section some streams ago saying, but the girls should have a sports psychologist with their club, blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to hear none of that, because the Reggae boys have had a sports psychologist, whereas the Reggae girls didn't have one. So if the Reggae boys can have a sports psychologist, then the Reggae girls most certainly deserve to have a sports psychologist. So again, I don't know if there's anything mentally going on with the players or players, individuals, or as a collective. But if there is, then at least you have your sports psychologist to turn to, and I'm sure he will make a significant difference if he is given the license to stay with us for the long run. You can't just have him here for one camp and then expect him to just blow you out the water. He's not a magician. At the end of the day, these players need to have a working relationship with the sports psychologist. They need to build up a rapport before you can see the benefits of him being there, right? And I'm not really sure who to thank for the return of Mr. Nicholas Powell. And I know I did ask Ryan to ask Mr. Chong. I'm not sure. Ryan did say that he spoke to Mr. Chong, and Mr. Chong, I believe, said that he will see what's possible, what can be done, something to those words. And we all know that Mr. Chong is no longer working for the Jamaica Football Federation. The idea was for him to still try and test the water to see if it's possible to bring back Nicholas Powell. Also, this could be a doing from the head coach Busby. I don't really know who to say. I don't know who to big up, but whoever you are, whether that's Mr. Jackson or Mr. Chung, the head coach Busby, I don't really know which one of you to thank for that. But whoever you are, whichever the guardian angel is with that one, then big up yourself. Long may it continue. So shifting the focus and looking at the game, you know how it goes. When you have the positives, you also have the negatives, right? And to maintain that objectivity, I think it's only right that we talk about the positives as well as the negatives. And this is just my opinion. You might look and say, but Crystal, that's not a negative. And that's okay. You can let me know that in the comment section, right? So looking ahead to tonight's game, obviously, using and listening to the words that was spoken from Mr. Michael Ricketts, the Jamaica Football Federation president, he said these upcoming games they've been put in the pipeline because they are supposed to help us prepare for our World Cup qualifiers later on this year. So there goes the significance. And I think, this is another opportunity, although he's going to be watching from a distance. It's another opportunity for the head coach Busby to identify his players, and it's also an opportunity for those players to give Busby something to ponder over. It's an opportunity for the players to showcase their worth. It would be a dream world for some of those girls if they could do what the Reggae Boys did. The Reggae Boys squad for the Unity Cup, if those Reggae girls there in camp who are not guaranteed starters traditionally, if they could take something away from the Unity Cup, my advice is to go out there and hold yourself accountable, give the head coach something to ponder over. Let him look and say, you know what, irrespective of who you are or how important you are, you might have to hold the bench because this player is playing out their socks. They're not going to get many opportunities when this first team set of players, especially the core players, make their way back into camp. We might see a few maybe for the England game, if not potentially either the closing of the summer or post-summer. You're not going to be getting a lot of these opportunities to showcase yourselves as we get closer to those World Cup qualifiers. So, and also a fixture like the USA, playing up against the USA, I think is testimony to the hard work of the players and also their coaching staff as well. You know, they've worked extremely hard to propel themselves in a position where they are facing off against some of the big hitters in women's football. I've already touched on a couple of those names, so I don't really need to go over that. But as I said, when it comes to certain countries like your USA and your Mexico, you do not want to lose those matches. So, with regards to tonight's game, will it make a difference? Whether, I guess that's a question I should ask you guys. Do you think it will make a difference? With the absence of our head coach, because as I said, it's right there on screen. He's not going to be physically present with the team on, I can't say, can I say, I can't say on this occasion. So instead I potentially have to say on another occasion, on successive occasions, is probably the right way to put it, because as it says here in the press release, he will continue to maintain active communication with both players and his technical staff. So I don't know if that means that he's coaching remotely. I'm not sure what you guys make of that in the comment section, but do let me know your thoughts as we continue with the live stream. But there is a couple of things that I do want to touch on in relation to how the JFF communicates their information to us. I think there is definitely some area for improvement, because you know, we are passionate about our team. We love our team dearly. I know some of you love the Reggae Girls more than you love the Reggae Boys. Saying that to say, there is without a shadow of a doubt a sincere desire to attain clear and timely communication from sports federations and teams. And the sports federation in this conversation is obviously the Jamaica Football Federation. Especially when you're dealing with personnels like your head coach, there is that desire to want clear and timely communication. Timely communication is probably more important than what I've just touched on. And you know, when you look back at the last camp, so Mexico as well as the USA camp, you can't be upset or be mad at the fans or question why some of the fans, even in the comment section, even before I started the live stream, people are saying, where is Busby? You know, where is the coach? These are devoted fans at the end of the day. So saying that to say a lack of, let's say, official information can lead to speculation. And it can also carry this feeling of disconnect among the fan base. And I'm sure the federation, I'm sure, I can't speak for you guys, but I'm sure you don't want that, because we've come a long way. We've come a long way from where we were to where we are now. And, you know, when official information is scarce, because that is how it feels within the fan base. So when official information is scarce, it's only natural, I should think, that, you know, it's natural for the fans who are deeply invested in this team to try to piece together what's happening. And they're trying to piece together what's happening because they perhaps don't feel that enough information has been shared with them, right? And that's probably how some fans are feeling. Not saying that's how all fans are feeling, but looking at the team, or trying to put myself in the position of the team and how they're feeling, exploring the potential impact of our head coach's absence on the team's preparation and morale. Again, reiterating what I've already stated, this is probably where your sports psychologist comes into play. So saying that, I probably answered my own question. That's probably Mr. Nicholas Powell's return is probably Busby's doing. That's not, don't quote me on that. That's just my opinion. That's not a fact, by the way. Because again, I'm just saying, I'm not saying team morale is low. I'm just saying, if your head coach isn't going to be on the sideline with you, I should think that might have an impact on your thought process and the way that you mentally prepare for a game, because you're not going up against a joke side here. And we saw just how poorly we played against Mexico, right? And also, when we're talking about those communication there from the Jamaica Football Federation and the team, there's plenty to consider, such as one of the focus will be on the coaching staff. And you know, as with everything, when you're looking at the pyramid within your coaching setup, obviously you would have your head coach. Our head coach is Hubert Busby, and that will trickle down to the rest of the setup. So next in line will probably be the interim head coach for tonight's game, that be it former Reggae Boys legend Dion Burton, and then it was spread across the board to the rest of the coaching staff, filter down to the team, and then make its way out to the fan base. And what I'm referring to is the leadership, strategy, and motivation. All of that comes from your head coach. Your head coach is supposed to be the one that galvanizes everyone. It's not an easy task. I've never been a coach, but I am assuming assumption is probably not the best thing to work with at times, but surely it all starts with your head coach. I can take it a step back and extend that and say, actually, it also starts with your federation. And I don't think many can argue against that. So the idea of leadership, strategy, and motivation stems from your federation down to the head coach Busby, and then through to the rest of the setup, make its way over to the fan base. And again, this is where I believe the benefit of a sports psychologist comes into play, right? Helping to keep the team motivated, looking at leadership. I do think we have some natural leaders in that squad, so I don't think we're weak when it comes to leadership. We also have players who are used to going the distance, you know, be it with obviously helping us to qualify for back-to-back World Cups, but also tasting success away from the team. I think we oftentimes forget that. And this is why I'm saying that as fans, we need to hold this team to higher standards, because I kind of feel like people treat them like they're Barbie dolls. Like, they're not Barbie dolls, they're professional footballers. They don't want you to pamper them. They don't want you to treat them like they're little girls. Like, these are adults. Here we have some young ladies in the team, but they're not bloody Barbie dolls. Like, it's okay to increase that level of expectations and align it with the men's team. You gotta be out your bloody mind if you think you can sit there and say that the men's team should win the CONCACAF Nations League or the men's team should win this, meanwhile being afraid to say the same for the women's team. It's not really making sense, because the women's team is a greater success story than the men's team. So for me, I'm looking at the team and I'm thinking, you know, as I said, for me, this World Cup cycle, the expectation is higher than ever before. It's higher than ever before, and it has to be higher than ever before. I'm not saying I'm not willing to accept another World Cup qualification in the bag, because that's obviously a monumental achievement, but something's got to give. We need more than that. Yes, we want to qualify for a third successive World Cup qualifier on the trot, but we also want other achievements as well. You know, like I said, this is our golden generation. We need to be achieving so much more than simply qualifying for World Cups. That can't be our biggest success story. Round of 16 can't just be our biggest success story. The appetite has to expand. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that is how I feel. So again, as it relates to the absence of the physical absence of our head coach for this camp, girls are obviously in camp and they're gearing up to take on the USA in some hours time. I also have to think about how the players are handling the situation. And I'm saying situation without trying to shake the roof, because the situation is that you do not have your head coach by your side physically when you're about to take on one of the most successful, one of the leaders when it comes to success and winning the FIFA Women's World Cup. You're going up against them, and you're going up against Emma Hayes as well. It's like, you know, that's a monumental challenge. That's a mountain to climb. So I'm looking and I'm trying to put myself in these players' shoes, and I'm wondering how are they handling the situation in terms of professionalism, continuing with their training session, and so on. And there probably is a little bit of a fallout in terms of they've gone from playing club football into the national team. And some of you are probably going to say that's no excuse, but let's remind ourselves it has been a long season. It is, while I do appreciate these friendlies, at the end of the day, they're not human beings. They're not, and that's not me trying to make excuses, because believe you me, I would love to kick out USA's teeth. That would be my wish, and I would love to do the same to England, but kind of have to be a little bit more realistic with what our expectation and reality will be, right? And again, that's not making excuses. I'm just wondering, how are you feeling mentally? Because as I said, a couple of those players there, and I'm not questioning the mentality of the players who were in relegation battles with their clubs. Make no excuse. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it perhaps what has been a mentally exhausting season. But they probably shouldn't be something that we should worry too much about, because they're in good hands with the return of the sports psychologist, Mr. Nicholas Powell. You guys are saying some stuff there in the comment section. I'm hoping I've unsaid what you guys are saying. Let's just pause for a quick session. Let me see. Hope he is healthy. I think that is in regards to Busby. I hope so too. Mr. Jeremy, big up yourself. I hope you are well, sir. DC said good news that the Reggae Girlz have regained access to the sports psychologist. Hopefully Dr. Powell has space and time to work with the players. Hopefully, hope the girls put in a good performance. Drew, pick up yourself, Drew. Drew says, where is the coach? I think you might have caught wind pertaining to what I've said. So he won't be physically with the team, and that is due to personal matters, as it says there in black or white on the screen in front of you. And that is that was information there that was shared with the media, or shared to the media by the Jamaica Football Federation. It says, if the girls feel a sense of stability with the interim coach, then Busby's absence should not have a negative impact. That's a wonderful way of looking at it. DJ Jiz, did I pronounce your name correctly? When we the fans going to start holding players accountable and stop putting all the blame on the couch and the coaches? I need you to add some meat to that one for me. I think I know where you're going, but I don't want to put words into your mouth. George Smith says, blessings, Crystal. I have tuned in late. Pick up yourself. Button Busby, he not being with the team, being there again seems strange. Hey, like I said, the only thing that we can work with is what is in black and white, is that he's unavailable, or he will be absent from the bench due to personal reasons. And we're going to get on to, I'm hoping that by the time I close off, I should be able to answer your questions, right? Make sure you big up the hostess. Oh my God. Jeremy Lee says we need to give Burton all the support he needs, right? So I'm going to get a couple more stuff off my chest. I'm trying to see if I can play something that was shared shared by the Jamaica Football Federation. I want to see, okay, guys. All right. So I'm going to head over to, should I do a shared screen? I hope they're not going to be petty enough to strike my channel, but let's see. I'm going to take a gamble and sharing the screen for the Jamaica Football Federation, and I hope they don't strike my channel. All right, so here is the content that was shared by the Jamaica Football Federation as it relates to the Reggae Girlz in camp with head coach, I should say, my bad, interim coach Dion Burton. Also had an interview there with Den Blackwood. You can also see the training session. I'm sure you guys can see all of that, right? I'm sorry, I butchered your name. All right, I'm taking myself away from the comment section for a brief period. So I'm saying this to say I've noticed a pattern. So I'm going to touch on the pattern. I'm pretty sure you guys already know what this one is all about. So some 2 weeks ago, our head coach Busby gave us a the announcement of the Reggae Girlz squad for the friendly against USA. And this one looks like it's done remotely because it looks like a remote setup. I don't want to click on it because I don't really want to get a copyright violation, but I'm just trying to piece together a few things. So I might have to go back a little bit. So bear with me. So Peru. So there he is. So he was at the Peru game. So whoever was asking, was he at the Peru game? Yes, he was at the Peru game. So there you have the Peru game. All right. So here, squad announcement, press conference for the Peru game, right? And if I scroll up, I'm not actually focusing on Peru. I'm trying to find Mexico. I'm trying to find where the Mexico content is. So I'll probably scroll past it because this was the squad announcement. So after the squad announcement for the Mexico squad, I've already expressed my disappointment with the Jamaica Football Federation because usually when you're dealing with fixtures, whether it's friendlies or whether it is a competitive match, especially when you're dealing with a respected nation like a Reggae Girlz, Jamaica, black, green, and gold, you're supposed to do things the right way. You're supposed to do things with what is expected of you. Saying that to say, was disappointed that we didn't get a press conference. I didn't see a press conference, and by press conference, the words read pretty much speak for themselves. Press conference means you sit down with the press, so head coach or assistant coach, and they basically asked questions by members of the media, be it new media and traditional media. So I didn't see one for the Mexico game. So we already expressed our disappointment. Now we know that they have eyes and ears everywhere, the Jamaica Football Federation, right? So I expected that they would potentially listen to our disappointments and act accordingly. So I'm looking at their YouTube channel, and we already saw the announcement there, the squad announcement for the Reggae Girlz squad for the USA friendly, right? You can see it right here. This was 2 weeks ago. So the next thing that I'm expecting to do to see from the Jamaica Football Federation, and if you guys have seen it, then let me know, is the press conference. I'm not talking about a sit down with your coach, because when you do content like this, and this is why your fan base feels like they're being rubbed up the wrong way. And I cannot speak for everyone, but I am a fan. First and foremost, before a content creator, before a reporter, before a journalist, I'm a fan first. So you rub people up the wrong way when you're not doing what you are expected to do. So when you sit down with the coach, and it's just the coach and the press officer that's speaking with each other, that's basically you controlling what's in the room. That's content within a controlled environment. And you rub people up the wrong way when you do that, because people are invested in this team. We put our heart into our team. People like myself, I don't sit here beating that drum for equality and equity just because I want views. You don't really get plenty of views when you're creating content on women's football, and I'm damn sure don't make money by speaking about women's football. So I'm not doing it for personal gain. I'm doing it because I absolutely love my country. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, where is are you meeting the standard expectations of pre-match conferences. I would think that you're not. Again, if they've done it, then let me see. I didn't see one for the Mexico game. I didn't see one for the USA game. And significant, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, guys, but dare I say, significant international fixtures like these, we would expect to see a press conference with the head coach, because if you look back at those two press releases there, he mentioned working remotely. Yes, he's not physically with the team, but he's still communicating with the team. So at some point before it was made known that the gaffer would be unavailable due to personal reasons, could you not have grabbed the gaffer and make up for the fact that we didn't hear from him for the pre-match conference ahead of Mexico, and so you know what, this time round, let's make sure that we hear from the gaffer ahead of the game against Mexico. Instead, you guys are giving us a sit down with your press officer and the head coach, assistant head coach, or interim head coach, Dion Burton. And while the content is appreciative, at the end of the day, that is a content that is pretty much in a controlled environment. We would have loved to have heard from our gaffer. And like I said, these things can be done if you're doing it ahead of time. It's why would we want to hear from Busby? Because it's normal protocol. It's a crucial opportunity for the media to ask questions about the squad selection, tactical preparation, team morale, and also it's an opportunity for the fans, because we do count. You always talk about the value of the 12th man. Well, when you're making decisions such as controlled content, think about the value of your fan base, because when to think about the value of the fan base when you want us to fill out those seats at the national stadium, when you want us to come and cheer in the stadium when you're overseas. You know who the fan base is then. So when you're making those type of decisions, keep into mind that the fans do want to hear from the head coach within the normal setup, right? And again, it's an opportunity there for the fans to get an insight directly from the coaching staff, right? And it's been noted, guys, because the fan base do speak, and I'm sure you got eyes and ears everywhere. But when you look back at the Mexico camp and the USA camp, you can't fault the fan base when they're saying that it's been noted that this is a customary press conference, and it has been and Busby, it has been absent not just for the USA press conference, but also, like I said, for the Mexico pre-match press conference. So when you look at, again, that layer of communication between the federation and the fan base, I think you guys have work to do. I think definitely you guys have work to do. There always seems to be an issue there with communication, whether it's communication between the coaching staff, communication between the federation and the coaching staff, or communication between the federation and the players, or communication between the federation and the fan base. Like, or all parties involved, communication always seems to be an issue, and that shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing, because when the men's team are playing, irrespective of whether it's a friendly or a competitive match, we get those pre-match press conferences, and you wouldn't dare put out a content that's in a controlled environment for the men's team, because all hell will break loose. So I need you to respect the women's team in the same manner that you respect the men's team. I need you to treat the women's team with the greatest respect that you treat the men's team, because it's not really coming across that you're doing that. Even if you are doing it, you perhaps have work to do. So I think it's pretty fair to say that it's interesting to observe the communication pattern. Like the squad announcement, of course, is crucial for these type of games. We have to know about the squad announcement. We have to know about who's called up, etc., etc., etc. But it is also part of sports and football tradition to follow up from the squad announcement with a pre-match press conference. right? And those type of things aren't being materialized, and what that does for the fan base is that it creates a disconnect for the media and the fans who, like I said, we are keen to want to hear directly from the horse's mouth. The horse's mouth is Busby. That's who we want to hear from. It appears that he does have the ability to work remotely, as we've seen with the squad announcement. Of course, things can change overnight. Squad announcement was some weeks back, but also in black and white there. If I go back to the press release, it does say here towards the end of the press release that Busby will be absent from the bench due to personal matters, but continues to maintain active communication with both players and technical staff. So what about the fans? What about the media? Could he not remain in communication, active communication with the media? Could you not have squeezed in 10 minutes of your time to say, let's hear from the head coach? Was that not feasible? Or are you happy for your fan base and the media to sit here and feel as if there's a disconnect between us and you guys? Because it's one thing hearing from Dion, and that's not a shade on Dion by any chance. You know, he's the interim head coach. He's going to be leading the charge against USA. It's not a shade on him at all, but we still want to hear from the head coach, Busby. If it's feasible, we want to hear from him. Is it feasible for him to work from home? The assumption is that yes, it is, or not necessarily work from home, but work remotely. The assumption is that he is able to do that, because he says he will continue to maintain active communication with both players and technical staff, right? So I feel like there's some work there that needs to be done, because, you know, given the recent patterns where any interaction from the head coach, from what I can see, and this is not a fact, but it does appear that it's been done remotely. So like press conferences seems like it's been done remotely. So obviously that leads to the logical questions about his current working arrangements. So one could say that even in a remote setup, it is still technically feasible to conduct a virtual press conference. It's something that a lot of sports organizations have adapted since the COVID pandemic. And JFF, you yourself have adapted that remote virtual press conference. You guys have put that into practice. And it's something that has been successfully done by you guys. So again, the lack of Busby's physical presence at training, as reported or even as observed, naturally contributed, I should say, to the anticipation that he might not be physically with the team on match day. I think that was the general anticipation. So while the official confirmation of his absence to the game itself, as in his physical absence, you can see the press conference in front of you, which I read out earlier on, and I can bring it back up on screen in a few. While that itself, I believe, holds a significant explanation pertaining to the people there who are wondering, where is your head coach? Where is the head coach? I think there is yet again a missed opportunity. And I think, unfortunately for you guys, that missed opportunity undeniably leaves certain section of your fan base with further questions. They're asking themselves further questions, because the timing of the announcement can certainly affect people's perception and understanding. And of course, certain things is out of your control. I could be on my way to work and I might have to turn around and call my boss and say, actually, I can't make it today because XYZ, it's an emergency. So those things are a norm. But the head coach did say that the press conference there that the press release that I'm looking at says he will be absent from the bench due to personal matters, but continues to maintain active communication with both players and technical staff. So again, where did that line of active communication come to an end? Is it still ongoing? If it is still ongoing, why couldn't we get a press conference from the gaffer? That's all I'm saying. Like the official reasons provided for the coach's absence has as it being personal reasons. Of course, that is important, and no one can jump the gun with that. You have to respect the explanation for what it is. You have to respect the reason for what it is. And to reiterate, it is personal matter. And as I said, when it relates to personal matter, no one is obligated to explain themselves. It's just some decency. It's just common decency. They're not obligated to go any further. However, for a national team, and I'm going to sound like a bit of a broken record, for a national team like Jamaica, like the Reggae Girlz. So like I said, in most cases, they're more loved than their male counterpart. So for a national team like the Reggae Girlz, where there is immense public interest and investments, people are heavily invested in the Reggae Girlz. The people who are watching this live stream, that is proof of that. They are invested in wanting to know what's going on with their team. The ongoing nature of this situation, if I can call it that, coupled with the absence of typical communicative processes, so like the press conferences, the pre-match press conferences, naturally it will fuel discussion among a passionate fan base. That's just the nature of the game. And why that is because as fans, and I cannot speak for the whole entire fan base, but as fans, it's pretty simple. All that we want for this team is for them to be in the best possible position for success. So I'll reiterate that again. All that we want for our team that we love so much, the team that we are so invested in, is for them to be in the best possible position for success. And again, I will reiterate, just in case some of you are just chiming in and you're wondering, where is Busby? I probably need to no, I'm not going to switch screens because I want to play something on my screen. But I don't know if I'm going to play because I don't want to get a copyright violation. So I might just have to paraphrase what I heard. Again, to reiterate, as it relates to Busby's, the reason for the answer to your question. The answer to your question, where is he? In black and white, he's going to be absent from the bench for tonight's game against the USA, and that is due to personal reasons. And again, not obligated to go any further, but I think we also have to bear in mind the public's desire for transparency and understanding in a high-profile national side, a high-profile national role. Because I think when it comes to the Reggae Girlz, people often forget that they are a team that is loved by many, not the few. They're loved by plenty, not the few. So that is the way that I look at things. I don't know how the guys in the comment section sees things, but that is the way that I see things when it comes to the national team, that is the senior women's national team of Jamaica, the Reggae Girlz. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read what you guys are saying in the comment section. I'm so sorry I butchered it. I will practice. They say practice makes perfect. I hope that the players that are holding out for the USA and I hope that the players that are holding out for USA and England should not take us for granted by trying to wait until we have qualified to commit themselves to the national team. And that's an intriguing comment. And those are the conversations that I think is safe for us to have. Those are healthy conversations because we have it about the men's team. So why can we not have it about the women's team? So PSD as coaching trainers, physiotherapists, sports psychologists, nutritionists. They also are part of the team. Federation. Yeah, I mean club. Okay, you're going back and forth with someone in the comment section. Let's say you are correct. The fans are heavily invested in this very proud Reggae Girlz team. Really have to blame the JFF for this one. They're in an awkward, really have no blame for the JFF. Really have no blame for the JFF on this one. They're in a very awkward position. Jeremy says, hit the like button. You heard what he said there, folks. Please hit the like button. I'm hoping that I've covered or given you guys an answer to your question pertaining to our head coach Busby. I don't know if you guys listened to did you guys listen? Answer this one for me. Did you guys listen? Have you guys watched that sit down there with the press officer and also Dion Burton? And you got to hear from Alison Swaby, the captain Alison Swaby. Did you guys watch that one? I'm tempted to play it, but hey, what? I don't really want to be flagged. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, so I'm not trying to get a flag. I'm not trying to give them the got you moments. So I'm not trying to do that at all. So let me just go back to that press conference there. So yeah, before I close off, did you guys watch the my brain, I'm struggling to think. Did you guys watch the interview there with Dion Burton, the press officer, and also Alison Swaby? Let me know. I'm just going to touch on a couple of the things that I picked up on before I close off. I think you might have to swing back later on, and I might be able to tell you that. I need to create a thumbnail for this game. It's after 10 a.m. The Germany says no. Warren says no. Okay, so in your own time, you could give that one a watch. One thing, I mean, no, but I'll watch it in a few. What do you guys think? Do you think I should play it? Do you think I should try seeing if we can play it in the background? Let me know. Let me know if you guys think I should try to play it so we can listen to the press officer, the head coach for tonight's game, and also the captain. You guys want me to play it, or is it worth the risk of a copyright? Probably not, right? I trust that you guys will watch it in your own time. Germany is saying yes. Wonder if they give me a copyright violation, guys. I don't want you to get a copyright. All right. So, okay. So paraphrasing. So you guys are going to have to go back and listen to. How about, rather than ruin the content for you guys, how about I allow you guys to watch the content, and then we could talk about it later on the watch along, right? I think that's better, because I don't really want to ruin it for you guys. I want you guys to, for copyright, don't do it. Warren is saying play it in parts so they don't flag. Listen, for some people, I am literally public enemy #1, so I wouldn't want them to flag that one. So I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm not going to play it. I'm going to allow you guys to go ahead and give it a watch, and then we can have a conversation later on when I come back and do the live watch along. I hope to see you guys for the live watch along later on. What time is your watch along? You know, I don't even have a time, Mr. Lee. I need to plan it, but before I do that, I need to re-energize myself, need to get some food, settle down for a little bit, and then come back. I did go over onto the JFF live. It's Coach Dion Burton and Alison Swaby look ahead to friendly versus USA. So just go over to JFF live, and you'll be able to see it. It's one of their latest upload. Right. So I am going to be coming back later on to speak with you all. And we're heading closer and closer to 5,000 subs, guys. We're heading closer and closer to 5,000 subs. I don't know if we can reach it tonight. I think it's a tall ask. I'm 26 away from 5K. I don't think we can hit that tonight, but let's see. In the meantime, why not go and watch my interview? Did an interview with Mr. Nicholas Powell, and he spoke about Reggae Girlz and mental resilience. And again, Mr. Nicholas Powell, he previously worked with the Reggae Girlz, and he is now back in camp, hopefully for the long run. So you guys can go ahead and learn a little bit more about the importance of mental well-being, mental preparation. I think it outweighs physical preparation, but that's just my opinion. So you can go ahead and give that one a watch. That one's gonna go. That one is in the comment section right there. Garfield, big up yourself. I hope you guys have hit the like button, by the way. You guys, did you guys touch the like button? I hope you did. I'm gonna come back later on. Germany says please subscribe and hit the like button. Absolutely. I'm just trying to see if I can make life a little bit easier for you guys. Let me see something. Let me see something. I'm trying to see if I can find something. I'm trying to think. Sometimes, okay, let's see. Trying to see if I can find something, guys. Need you to keep your eyes on my channel though, because I'm definitely going to be going live. I'm gonna be going live with this Reggae Girlz game later on. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I'm just laughing because of how the show started earlier on. Yes, I would love to watch your interview. Thank you, George. Well, it's right there. You should be able to click on it. It's right there. You can go ahead and click and listen to Mr. Nicholas Powell. So, to gloss over what's been said, I think we've answered your question. Where is Busby? It says here at the bottom of the press release, the Jamaica Football Federation confirms that head coach Hubert Busby will be absent from the bench due to personal matters, but continues to maintain active communication with both players and staff in Missouri. So, kickoff there is 7 p.m. Jamaica time at the Energizer Park. And I think we probably have covered everything that needs to be discussed for today's show. Also reported on at the start of the show, looked at Leon Bailey to Saudi. And the topic of the main topic of conversation reads for itself. Hubert Busby absent for USA friendly. Please do watch that interview there on the JFF YouTube channel, and then we can talk about it later on. Okay. I'm just thinking before I close off, should I make a quick thumbnail before I close off? Should I make a quick thumbnail, guys? Or should I just I might just let you guys keep an eye on. Let me see. Should I try and make a quick thumbnail? You know what? I'm not going to take up you guys' time. I'm not going to rush. I'm going to take my time to create a thumbnail and also put something out there for you guys. This seems like Reggae Girlz coach can't travel to the United States from to me. Well, all I can say is you can only go with what's been presented to you officially. This is why I'm saying communication is key, as with everything. And they have communicated that to us, and it's in black and white. So the official reason, so outside of any speculation, is that he is absent due to personal matters. And that's pretty much all I can really say on that one there with you guys. I am going to have to love you and leave you. My eyes need a break because the light is bright and I've been going at it for 1 hour and 37 minutes. So I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I hope that you have hit the like button. I hope to see you here later on. Please, Reggae Girlz, it's going to be a late kickoff. It's a 1 a.m. kickoff. Please, I am begging you, let it be worth my while. Please, please, don't let it be another Mexico results. Speaking of results, we're going to talk about results in my next live stream. All right. So if you haven't hit the live stream, I hope that you go ahead and do just that. Mr. Lee says something smells stink. LOL. Maybe Mr. Lee knows something that I don't know. I don't know, but maybe we can chat about that at another time. For now, I am going to have to love you and leave you. Hit the like button, please, on your way out. If you're making your way home from work, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed, because walking through your doors is an underrated blessing. We have a monumental task ahead of us. Can we do it? Can we be giant slayers? Can we do something against the USA? Can we rough them up? Can we not put in an embarrassing performance? All that remains to be seen. Kickoff is edging closer. Grab yourself something to eat. Get a little nap in if you can. And I will see you guys again in some hours' time. Keep an eye on my channel, by the way. I'm going to make this thumbnail ASAP and I'll put it out there for you guys, okay? Big up you guys there in the comment section. Thank you for showing me some love. Thank you for rocking with me for the best part of almost 1 hour and 40 minutes. Thank you guys for showing me your respect and blessing me with a moment of your time. If you've been silently watching, why is that? I don't bite. I've never bitten anyone, and I don't plan on starting to bite people. Anyways, I hope later on. All right. You know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.